part of like what's real, not real, and who's the architect, who's the director of the material, right? Marlon Brando said that with the Dick Donner Superman, right? So he was already thinking about, oh wow, why, you know, this is you already videoed me, you already filmed me, you already put it in the computer. So I mean, he was ahead of the game too. Like right now, you can have your digital IP. Like I know for me in films, I can't be digitally altered without approval. And I did that way back when.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of licensing. In a weird way, we're licensing our performances in a way too, with editing in the first place.
Right.
But I guess if you're creating it and like making that avatar, then do whatever you want. But then you could do multiple projects, Carrie Ann.
You could just stay home.
You could just stay home.
Or perform at a younger age, or perform, when you're retired.
Or whenever.
Right?
I mean, I think that's the whole thing about this kind of world that's becoming more and more real.
So that you wouldn't need the actual physical experience of making it. It could just be done in a computer.
Well, it's puppetry, right? It's computer puppetry.
It's the
and you could be wherever you want to be.
It's interesting.
What do you think about like the posthumous aspect of it, like Carrie Fisher in Star Wars, where potentially even after you're gone, right? Like your likeness could be used. Have you thought about like you have it where you have to prove how your likeness is used?
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of years back, my agency, I mean, there's agencies now where they'll capture your digital self to create digital content. And, you know, you could perhaps transfer your likeness to the estate, right? They're already doing that.
Right.
And there's also an aspect of this where games and movies are melding to a degree, right? And
Yeah, I guess it's the plasticity of images. I don't know, it depends. I mean, if we're talking from a capitalistic platform, you know, I think it's always going to be portioned, and I think it's always going to be sold. So it's just more things to sell. But I mean, they're also bringing the tool to the user, right? So, you know, you'll be able to create you'll be able to license perhaps IPs, right? So,
does the idea of like making a playable movie, is that compelling to either of you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess that's not the ending I wanted. I don't know.
You literally can take the pill yourself, right?
Yeah,
idea,
and I can use your...
I guess what I love about making movies is the being together, being all together, and that human part of it. It's what I love about it. That's what I always loved about The Matrix, was that I always felt so, even though people would always assume so much of it was green screen and so much of it was special effects, and yet that wasn't my experience of doing it. We did everything.
You know, I feel like it's the first time in a long time that the real world is almost ahead of our science fiction. I mean, the whole idea of trying to pursue, like, when can we make it photoreal? When can we fool? I mean, all of the deep fake, you know, technologies that are happening. Wow. Yeah,
It hurts the mind.
No, but I mean, it's like, it's almost, you know, it's like, it's the why, right? We have to keep, the species has to keep creating. The species is like, oh, I can do that. Let's keep going to do that, you know? And no one can predict the future. I don't know, I was having dinner at a friend's house.